Soraya, how's it going?
Woo! Hey Jeff, hot enough for you?
Too high. Triple digits is too much for me. Actually, anything over about 84 and I start to whine and complain. So, fortunately, now our air conditioner's working and in the car. We had to get that fixed. So that was a grand and a half that we had to put into that. But we've got air conditioner wherever we go, so we're trying to stay out of this triple digit Temecula heat. But
Yeah. Here in California, for our listeners anywhere but California, it's just been a brutal heat wave that we've had at the end of August, coming into September. But today, you and I are in cool surroundings, and we're
yes,
going to have a pretty cool guest joining
yes.
us. So let's just say it outright. First of all, we've got our amazingly cool guest host, Ronnie Barnett.
Yay, Ronnie.
But Jeff, we're being joined today by a band, and I want to use this quote because I thought it was just too good. Um, that this band has been called, and this is a direct quote, scrappy, independent, locally beloved, but nationally obscure, and possessing an earnest but ambitious indie pop sensibility.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, this was a write-up, excuse me. This was a write-up about this band from a local station, KCRW, talking about a show where this band appeared on December 20th, 1990. And I'm talking about the band Downy Mildew.
yes, yes. Yeah, I think in my research I came across something that said that they were born out of they are a love child of REM meets 4AD. So
Yep.
yeah, and I thought, oh, that's kind of lazy. And then the more I started listening to them, I'm like, I can actually kind of hear that a little bit from Downy Mildew, but
Well, look, when you've got a video that's been directed by Michael Stipe, an early video in 1990, and then I also read something where because of the moment they came on the scene in the mid 80s, they had an indirect connection to the Paisley Underground. They said they've been lumped in with Paisley Underground-esque.
yes.
Um, and I think that the earliest release, the EP and the first album, I think you could hear something. There you go. Of course,
Yeah.
Jeff. You could hear some of that psychedelia coming through. But we are talking about the band Downy Mildew,
Yes.
and we are going to be really, really fortunate today to be talking with Charlie Baldonado
Yes.
about the
Yeah.
band. So I'm really looking forward to it. What about you, Jeff?
I'm definitely looking forward to it too. And you know, Soraya, when we bring on a band that's not one of the core four, I like to try to find some connection, even if it's like they borrowed a Kleenex from Michael Quercio. Um, they knew somebody who rented a place from Matt Pucci in 19 something, some kind of connection, right? I think I found a little connection, and we'll talk about that maybe towards the beginning so we can tie this in somehow to the Paisley Underground. So maybe if they were lumped in by some journalists, we know they definitely were one of the core four for sure. But same area, Los Angeles, I think Santa Monica to be specific,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe. Same time period. I'm sure a love of 60s music, guitar, melodies. I mean, they had it all. But as far as being part of that scene, maybe not so much. But I mean, maybe they played with one of these bands. I'd be curious to know.
Look, you and I have talked often about how this LA music scene, and I mean, and we started speaking specifically about Paisley Underground, but we've kind of branched out and um had a bigger umbrella per se. But
Yeah.
you know, all many things are probable in terms of exactly what you just said. Probably similar clubs or the LA music scene at that time what had a lot of different things going on, and so it's really possible. And I do like to talk about my big brother being a big influence on me. And the minute I said we're going to be talking with Charlie Baldonado of Downy Mildew, his eyes lit up and he said, Downy Mildew. Downy Mildew was a KXLU favorite. My brother worked at KXLU for
Oh,
a short period.
oh wow.
Um, but he said they were a huge favorite on that station, and I'm now finding other LA stations at that time as I'm rediscovering the band. So doesn't it it wouldn't surprise me if we have more than one Paisley connection.
Yeah,
So anyways, but we hope you enjoy it. We're really thrilled and grateful for the time that we're going to have with Charlie Baldonado. So, Jeff, let's jump into it.
let's do it.
Let's go.
Hi, this is Soraya.
And this is Jeff,
Our podcast is called Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme.
a podcast where the two of us play music that we like and share anecdotes and background about the tunes.
We hope you'll join our conversation. And without further ado, a grooviar.
Let's get groovy.
All right, so
All right. So, first of all, for our listeners, we have a real treat today. Our guest host, Ronnie Barnett, is joining us today. But more importantly, we have joining us Charlie Baldonado of Downy Mildew so we can chat about the band and many, many other things. So, welcome to the show. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for joining us.
thank
Uh,
you, Charlie.
How's she doing the pronunciation there, Charlie? Of your last name?
Very well.
Great.
I see she has some she knows.
Yeah, she's the smart one. So
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I know a couple of things.
I mean, she is a professor of Latin literature, so I think
saw that.
yeah, I think she could do okay. Charlie, as you may or may not know, we're primarily a Paisley Underground podcast, but we've been trying to broaden our horizons a little bit. Here we're on episode 217, Soraya, so we've pretty much
Wow.
nailed the Paisley Underground, and we're trying to expand a little bit. And we've been talking to some bands that are more jangle rock, the Bongos. We've talked to
But,
a few different bands, the
but
Connells.
Jeff, I just want to say, reading the Downy Mildew Wikipedia, Paisley Underground is mentioned.
We saw that. And
Yeah. So
in fact, so I like to start and try to find some kind of connection. And I did find, Charlie, that with some of these early releases on Texas Hotel, that there was a name that I saw familiar in our discussions from the Paisley Underground. That's Earl Mankey, who did the engineering on at least
Yes.
these two records. And
Right.
as our listeners will know, Earl worked on with the 3 o'clock quite a bit, and they actually considered Earl like the fifth member of the band. Can you tell us about working with Earl and how that was and how that came about?
I'm not sure how we got hooked up with Earl, but his studio's out in the suburbs in Thousand Oaks, and at the time I was living in downtown LA at Fifth and Alameda, so it was kind of a journey out there to go record. But he had a great setup, and it was in his house. He set the drums in the kitchen and guitar amps in a bedroom, and it's kind of scattered around the house. He had it down. He'd been doing it for a while. One thing I do remember is Dennis Wilson's motorcycle was still in the garage. They used to ride motorcycles together, I guess.
Wow.
And Dennis had passed not too maybe a couple of years prior to that.
Wow. I think one thing I did notice on I think your second full length album on Mincing Steps, you said he was an engineer and I think offered suggestions. Maybe
Oh yeah,
yeah. Did he actually give you guys any suggestions? Was it related to song structure or sounds or
more just sounds and how things are coming through on tape. Uh, we were maybe a little different for him in terms of our use of tons of reverb and obscuring things a lot. Maybe he might have been used to a little more clarity.
okay.
I remember him commenting, "Wow, you guys want that much reverb? Okay."
Are you sure, Charlie?
Yeah, well, there was the. He didn't say not to do it, but
Okay.
he was just kind of surprised.
yeah, he allowed you to do what you wanted to do, though. That's
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We definitely we were Michael Meister was there a lot as well. The Michael was our manager at the time, and the actual label
Hmm.
that we Texas Hotel.
Yeah, yeah. The Texas Hotel, was it a record store first and then a label, or
Yes.
gotcha.
Yeah, they were actually they were all over here in Santa Monica, a couple of different locations, but the label started, I don't know, a couple of years after they'd been a record store, I think. Not quite sure.
Okay. That's before I moved to LA in '89, so it was before my time, just
Yeah,
slightly. Maybe it
yeah,
was still there at that point, but yeah, I never made it there.
towards the end of it.
Yeah. So you guys were label mates with Rollins.
Yeah, well, I think either we were the first record on the label or Henry's record was the first one on the label, but it was, it's quite a dichotomy there.
Yeah, I want to.
The Hot Animal Machine record.
Yes.
I know sometimes labels will do label shows where they'll promote their bands and have a show and book some of their bands together. I don't imagine Henry Rollins opening up for Downy Mildew at any Texas hotel shows. Did that ever happen?
No, Henry was always seemed to be out on tour or busy. He was a little bit further down the line than we were.
Oh, okay, okay.
We were talking about playing with him in New Jersey somewhere at some point, but it never materialized.
Oh, wow.
And he certainly wouldn't open for us.
I tried. I tried. So you guys started off with this EP, self-titled Downy Mildew EP, which I like this record quite a bit. It really started to introduce what the band was. So, to Ronnie's point, how did you guys actually end up on Texas Hotel to put this out? Did you have a demo that they heard, or do you recall?
I don't remember how we hooked up with Michael. I think maybe we would just go into the store. At that time, there was, Vinyl Fetish, and I guess Rhino had some of the records that Texas Hotel had, but not many in terms of imports, and a lot of the, like postcard label from England and a lot of that stuff that wasn't in a lot of record stores here. So I might have met him that way. I can't remember, to tell you the
Okay.
truth.
Were you
But
guys
he was
playing? Were you playing out a lot before then, Charlie, or
not
before the
too
EP?
much.
Yeah.
Not too much. We played it at the record store early on, maybe 84, it might have been something like that, 85. Um, but he always liked us and, wanted to manage us. And so he kind of picked up that end of things. And he knew a lot of people. So that was very beneficial.
Can we talk about Broomtree? One of my top 100 favorite albums of all time. There isn't a bad song on this album. I'm very partial to Broomtree, your debut full-length album. Um, can you talk about like your guys' writing style? One thing that I liked about Downy Mildew, and there was a few bands that kind of had something similar going on with um, male and female lead singing. We had bands like Let's Active, 28th Day, 1+2, some of my favorite bands. But you
Uh-huh.
didn't see that a whole lot with bands. I mean, there were a few, but it's definitely the exception. How did you guys come together, like as far as writing? Because I think you brought in some songs,
I
right?
would I would write most of the music, if not all the music, and give it to Jenny, and she would take it and write the lyrics and the melody, and take it to a whole nother level. I mean, every time I would, I'd have these riffs or songs that I would put together, and then she would go do her thing, and it was magical, really.
Yeah,
What what
the
what she could
vibe,
do.
the vibe of Broomtree, I think, is so beautiful. Like the sounds that you guys are creating, and maybe you can, um, maybe that all that reverb has something to do with on your guitar sound. But your guitar sound was really like otherworldly, ethereal, if you will. And I've seen some mentions of 4AD, and I can kind of hear that. I'm a big Cocteau Twins fan, and the
Uh-huh.
guitar sound on that. Did you have any kind of influences that for your guitar sound to sound that airy and beautiful and dreamy? Just
That it was just more of the maybe the Velvet Underground a little bit.
mm,
Uh, early on, just the sort of murkiness of those first few records of theirs, and certainly English bands. Vinnie Riley was Drudy Collin was a guitarist I really liked, and there was just the effects and that kind of thing were really blossoming at that time. So you could everyone was kind of using a lot of the same stuff, in terms of guitar tones and that sort of thing. So it just kind of that time, I think, to a certain degree.
Yeah. And Velvet Underground, that's a good guy girl vocal band, right, Jeff?
Yeah, yeah. At
No,
least on the first record, for sure.
now,
Yeah,
Char
I think
With
there
Nico,
weren't
yeah.
there weren't a lot of bands with sort of alternating male female singers. It was
right.
usually, you had a female singer or a male singer, and I think that was a little confusing for people with us sometimes. Like who's the lead singer? And it was kind of a weird thing, I think.
I loved that fact. In fact, one of our favorite bands, Ronnie and Soraya, we all love 28th Day, and I thought that would be a perfect bill, Downy Mildew and 28th Day on the same bill.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar. Were they around when we were playing?
Around the same time, but they were based out of Davis. Is it-
We
Yeah,
might have played.
they had an EP on Restless in like '85.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we played with them somewhere along the way.
Yeah, Barbara Manning was the girl in that band. If you know who
Yeah,
Barbara
that name
Manning.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then we can't forget X.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Like,
There's actually a good point that, whenever we would get reviewed back then, Robert Hilburn in the LA Times would say, "Oh, they're the new X," or compare us to X,
Yeah.
which is not
You can't complain about
outside.
that. Yeah.
No, and it's
No.
true. They were a band that had two lead singers, really.
Yeah.
yeah.
Can we jump back a little bit? You were talking about the effects being popular at that time. Just a little techie question. Can I ask what, like maybe two or three of the effects that you were using at the time, on your guitar to get the sound that you got?
Back then, the whole stomp box thing hadn't quite proliferated in terms of all the choices you had. Usually you had a rack
Okay.
mounted
Yeah.
piece of gear that you could sort of cobble presets together, delay into reverb or whatever. So I like an Alesis thing, MIDI verb or something like that I used for a while.
So you were using a rack mount.
Yeah, there
Oh,
not a lot of pedals. I mean, there was an overdrive pedal and an Echoplex that I used a lot,
wow.
but those were just kind of on. Or with the rack stuff, you could kind of scroll through the presets and
Okay. So no
I mean,
boss, no boss.
there weren't really any that I know of at that time. Reverb pedals, generally it was on the amp,
Yeah.
and a lot of the guitar. Jenny was really the lead guitarist in the band. I mean, I played not a lot of solos really on those first couple of records.
But you were driving the rhythms as far as
Yeah, and I liked
impressions.
sort of art brute component of her playing. Where we're going to play three notes. It was kind of super minimalist in a sense, but with the reverb and delay, it's sort of it gets pretty big.
Yeah.
You don't need too much.
Yeah. You hear that, folks? Charlie got this huge sound using just those few effects. These pedal boards these days, like I don't know. Yeah, it's insane, right? You see people with these huge pedal boards.
Yeah, you need a PhD. I mean, I have pedals now that I use.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I've seen some stuff that's I mean, you can't even get to the one in the back.
Exactly.
System in the front that allows them all to function, and I don't know. I'm not deep into it.
Not like an Alex Lifeson or Andy Summers board where it's like all these pedals all together. I think those guys played with a lot. So did you guys have any background like into fine arts? Because I mean, just looking at how beautiful like some of the presentations are, was it something that the band came up with for the covers, or did you guys get into fights?
No,
over artwork?
No, I studied painting, fine art here at Otis Parsons in town, and we definitely came from or some of us did from that realm, the
Okay.
artwork. So we the first cover, I mean, that photo is a photo I took, and the other is a photo that Meister Jenny did that painting there
Okay.
on the
On
cover.
the on the EP.
Yes.
And then I was very curious about the layout for Broomtree with the picture is beautiful. I love silhouette pictures like this. And then it's like there's a Polaroid just stuck on there.
Yeah, those are Michael Meister always had a lot of photos around, and
Okay.
that's one of his shots there that we just stuck in the corner.
I love it. And so so the band would come to an agreement on it, or was it the label doing your album
No,
cover?
we would do all our own artwork.
Okay.
So yeah, the band. I mean, primarily, I don't know. I don't remember how democratic the process was.
Right. Yeah.
I think someone ran with it. I mean, I did a bit of it. I mean, on the Mincing Steps cover, there's a painting of mine, I think. Yeah, there is. So we just sort of put it together.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought the back of Mincing Steps was interesting with how the photos were kind of dark and gothy and kind of mysterious.
Yeah, that reminds me of maybe the Velvet Underground's first album.
Ah,
Where they're the picture. I think something similar.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe with a projection on their face.
Yeah, as I recall, I haven't seen that record for a while, but
Well, it's the photos above the projection. So the individual shots, like you're saying, that's what kind of what it's like. So nice.
So
All these
Ronnie,
Go ahead.
Ronnie, you were in Houston when Downy Mildew was releasing records. How did you hear about the band?
Oh, I was plugged into the scene, and for lack of a better word, Charlie, sorry, jangly stuff. And I read reviews, I read all the magazines at the time, the Bob and Bucket Full of Brains and stuff. I don't know. I heard of Downy Mildew and bought, I think Mincing Steps was the first. It could have been Broomtree, but yeah, I fell in love with the band. So yeah, I never saw you though, even after I moved, and we'll get to your major label stuff. Because I'm very curious about your major label that was owned by Wyndham Hill, Charlie.
yeah.
Like did William Ackerman sign you guys? Like, how did that?
No, there was a subsidiary of theirs. They
Right.
were trying to get into they were getting into kind of folk stuff, I think, and we were the most outside band or the most kind of rock band on there, I think, that they
Okay.
had.
So it's poppier stuff than like George Winston or whatever the.
Yeah, Michael Hedges, George Winston.
Yes.
They're the biggest artists. And I think Will Ackerman put out records too. But it was definitely more instrumental.
Yeah, which is good in a way. I mean, because you had a break between putting out records on Texas Hotel. I know you had the single on Triple X. I'm sure they offered you a deal for a full length too.
With Triple X?
Yeah, you have that Triple X single like between.
That's Andy Gill from Gang of Four produced that.
How did that come about? That had to have been so much fun.
One of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah.
How did they find out about Downy Mildew, and how did you rope them into producing your single?
I think
Or him,
maybe
I should say.
he contacted us, I think, and Gang of Four had just dissolved a couple years prior, and he had produced the Red Hot Chili Peppers' first record, I think, and we was doing production work, and so yeah, we said sure, let's do it. We only ended up using that one song. We recorded maybe 5 songs with him that I ended up re-recording for that Oncoming Train record.
Why was that? Did you weren't happy with the sound or the performance or?
Yeah, just I don't know. We kept those, and we didn't have a label at the time, so we didn't really do anything with those recordings. And I had after that purchased my own studio, and I started engineering all of our stuff. So I just liked what I did, the way it came out better. I mean, just the vibe, the feel, the arrangement, the whole thing.
So Ronnie,
his production is a little different than any of the rest of Downy Mildew stuff, right? Because I don't know. He's got percussion things in there and stuff, if I
He was
remember.
very into, yes, sequencers and locking everything
Right.
to a drum machine, which, it's fine. I like the way that thing came out. I mean, it does sound like us,
Yeah.
but there's if listen to Late Gang of Four, that's kind of where they were going to, or Andy was going, and John King not necessarily, but
Yeah.
yeah, just more drum machine and
Right.
fancy kind of thing. But some of those songs had a more atmospheric vibe as well. The Gang of Four stuff, and that's kind of going on. We already had that anyway. So
Yeah.
Can I also ask a question since we're talking kind of about how other bands kind of come to know Downy Mildew? How does Michael Stipe get involved in wanting to direct this video for Offering?
Michael was a good friend of Michael Meister's, and Meister, like I said, he knew a lot of folks just by virtue of his record store. A lot of bands played at Texas Hotel. I mean,
Right.
if you look at, there's a roster somewhere. You'd be amazed if we went through there. But it's just a record store on the street in Santa Monica. Anyway. He was friends with Michael, and Michael liked the band, and we would see Michael. We became friends with him as well. And when we would go on tour, we'd stay at his house in Athens, like, when we were going through and kind of hang out for a few days or whatever. So he was getting into making videos, and I think it's one of the first videos he did. And
Wow.
I wanted to go to Taos, New Mexico, and he wanted to, so it's kind of right in the middle of Athens and LA. So that's where we met and shot the video.
Wow. Does Michael Stipe keep a clean house back then, Charlie? What's his house like?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure it was like, yeah, I'm sure it was a beautiful.
Nice garden. Everyone would, it was very nocturnal.
Yeah.
As we were. You're in a band, you're touring, you're staying up all night.
Right.
Gardening at night.
Gardening at night.
Yeah. Blue Velvet was showing at the theater in town.
I slept on Michael Stipe's couch. It's a good name for your book, Charlie.
Oh, yes.
If you have one.
He had a proper guest list.
Oh, okay. Wow. But there's four of you. You all had to.
Yeah, some things I remember and some things I don't.
Yeah.
Where who did what and all that.
Yeah, it's been a while. Hey, so Ronnie, we've talked before about with your band, the Muffs, having like extra tracks available for like expanded editions or not having those available. So I think we just learned that for an oncoming train that there's some extra tracks that might be available for the expanded vinyl version that I'm pushing to happen. That's not going to happen. So
yeah, I noticed, Charlie, with Downy Mildew, some of your albums are on vinyl and not CD, and some are on CD and not vinyl. It's interesting.
Yeah, just the first two.
Yeah,
it was pre-CD, really.
Yeah.
But I will say that that when with the Wyndham Hill label, like High Street, right? They went back and they did the Broom Tree and
they did.
the
Okay.
Missing Step.
Yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, they licensed those first two records
from Texas Hotel. So
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know about those CDs. Okay. Yeah, those aren't on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I think
yeah.
on the Broom Tree CD, the EP is included on that. I believe. There was never just a separate EP.
Yeah.
CD.
They even went with the artwork design by throwing in a little tiny picture square.
At least it's included.
The
Yeah,
EP the EP is here. You can tell by the little photos.
Wow.
So, did you with an oncoming train? You started doing a lot of the production work yourself, engineering. Well, I mean, basically, you produced from the get-go, right? I mean, or at least the band did, right?
Yes, I didn't engineer those first two records.
Right. But then with an oncoming train, you started to because you had your own studio at that point. Is that right?
Yes, I set up a studio. It was still tape at that point, and got some good mics and all that sort of business, and did it myself at our leisure too. So you could really kind of Oh, we didn't spend a ton of time on it, but you could just kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah. That's
Would you,
amazing because Charlie, everybody has a home studio now, but it's
Yeah.
digital. Like back in '91 or whenever you made that record, that was very unusual for somebody to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, people that were hugely successful had studios.
Yes. Yeah.
Someone at our level, no, they didn't really have. A friend of mine, friend of my family, started to invest in the band a little bit. He said,
Okay.
here's some money, go buy some gear." And I said, "Great," and I did. And then with the when we got signed to the High Street label, we took some of that money and put it towards the studio as well.
nice.
Nice. Were you recording other bands as well? Like for hire? Like,
Yeah, a little bit, mainly friends. Clay
yeah.
Idols were a band that played
Oh
in
yeah.
town here. I recorded, I can't think of who else, but
Hmm.
not a lot.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
Ronnie, you're gonna love this. So there's a Kiss connection. Charlie's like Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley had his own studio, so Charlie did the same thing,
True.
right? So there's a Kiss connection.
Yeah.
We gotta love that,
okay,
Ronnie. Charlie's like Ace Frehley.
well, kind of.
Or maybe not, but at least
Yeah, I never got into makeup quite that heavily. Just a little eyeliner.
Just- but you both had your own studio with tape, actually recording on tape. So
With actual tape, yes, it's funny. I had
Yeah.
that tape machine sat around for 20 years, and I of course went digital and all that business, and I just gave it to some kid. But he's
Wow.
probably 25 or so, and it's like the vinyl thing. They love vinyl, they want tape, and here the things that it's actually a great machine, and it still works.
Yeah.
And I said, "If you come pick it up and take it away, you can have it." And he lives on an avocado ranch, so in
Oh,
payment, he brings me bags of avocados,
wow.
which is a good deal.
Yeah, that's a
Amazing.
great deal. That's a great deal.
Wow. So the Downy Mildew tape machine lives on, folks. If you want to
It
go
lives
record,
on. Yes.
yeah, record on this avocado farm. Great.
Yeah. So yeah, I would record them, and then Chad Blake, who
Mm.
you guys know, incredible mixer artist. Really. I mean, really has his own sound. I would have him mix them. So I'd record all this stuff, and it would sound okay. My room wasn't really great. I could mix them there, but I could track, and
Okay.
I knew that things were sounding pretty good.
Yeah.
But we would go. I think the first one we mixed was at Sunset Sound Factory,
Oh,
and I would just take the tape machine over there and plug it into their API,
wow.
and we'd mix. And he was just amazing. I mean, where he took the stuff was, always blew my mind. Just how much better it sounded.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea to bring the tape machine because those tape machines could be different in different studios,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And it wasn't a 24 track machine. It was a 1-inch 16 track. So none of the studios had it. So
Right.
you'd have
Uh,
I had to bring them.
so
Wow.
what was mixing usually pretty democratic within the band, or at least with you and Jenny on
I was primarily there with him mixing, and which Jenny would come in every once in a while, but she didn't care too much about it. I mean, it always sounded good, so it
Okay.
wasn't.
Yeah.
It was never, "Oh my God, this is too loud," or he's just that good. He just
Yeah.
Charlie,
No.
I'm trying to dig where you guys had those brawls where you were like scratching each other, and it sounds like that never happened with the band. Like you guys sound like you
uh,
guys were
no, it was every once in a while, but
Yeah.
nothing to.
any relationship. Yeah. So
Mhm.
the last album that you guys recorded full length was Slow Sky. Um, I was just listening to this today, and it's a really good album, Charlie. I mean, if you're gonna go out, this is a good album to go out. But what brought the band after making such a great record? What brought the band to its knees to call it, as far as full time being a band?
It had just run its course, it seemed. We'd been together for, I don't know, 12 years or so.
Yeah.
And, we were doing okay, but taste had changed a little bit. The whole grunge thing kind of came through. And, the whole music world moves pretty fast. Every 3 or 4 years, it
Yeah.
seems like there's something different coming on. And if you weren't at a certain level, you just kind of sort of kind of stayed there. And we sort of started the band just as friends playing. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh, let's get a band together and become famous or that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it really sort of stopped the way it began. It was kind of this trajectory and seemed like it had run its course, and we all kind of moved on to other things.
Did
Oh,
did you do
that's
did you do a lot of touring, Charlie? I mean,
Yes.
during any of those years? Okay. Were you out on your own a lot, or did you open for bigger, you tour with bigger bands or
Both.
both?
We do run tours, and we would hook up with people, or here in LA, we would play with various people, 10,000 Maniacs, or
Yeah.
like some other bands. Can't remember
Yeah.
exactly. Dream Syndicate we played with a couple times, I think.
Soraya, you hear that?
There you go,
I
you
heard
guys.
it.
Paisley connection. Yeah, because some bands are built for the road and some just aren't. I mean, and some people like it and some don't. So I didn't know if you guys.
I loved it. It was a great way to spend your adolescence.
Yeah.
Just driving around, going town to town. I mean, after a while, maybe not, but I never disliked it.
Yeah. Did you go to Europe? Did you go to foreign countries?
No, we went to Canada.
Okay. Yeah.
Country, but no,
Yeah.
I regret that. We should have gone to play in Europe. I mean, so many of the bands from that time that still have careers are like Steve Wynn, or
Yeah.
they went over there, and that's they're almost more popular over there than they are here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Just that.
you guys still play occasionally. You could, that could happen still.
It could. Yeah, I could see a European vacation.
Yeah.
play
Yeah. Yeah.
and then go to Bordeaux for a couple of weeks, and then go play in Spain, and that sounds fun.
Sure. Yeah. And when you guys started playing again, was that just you got an offer and we're just like, let's play. It'll be fun.
It was Nancy, the bass player's 60th birthday.
Okay.
And she said, for my birthday, I want to play a show. And I said, all right, let's do it.
And that was the Zebulon show in Los Angeles?
No, that was at the Echo, and
Echo.
right
Yeah.
before COVID, like
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
October of 2019, I think it was.
Yeah.
But in January of this year, 2025, wasn't it Zebulon that you played?
Yes.
Oh,
That's later, but the Echo. Yeah, I remember hearing about that Echo show after. I was really upset because I lived right by there. And anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's fun. We like doing it, so I think we'll play again. We're going to do something in San Francisco next year,
Oh,
and we'll play here again.
nice. Let me know, Charlie. I'm in Sacramento now, so
Okay.
I'll jet on over there.
Are you playing any bands right now, or?
No, I'm retired. My bandmate passed away.
I know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't know how much you know
I
about our
like your
band.
band. You guys were great. I like.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I never assume anybody knows who we were, but
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I
Ever
remember
since
you guys.
then, oh, thanks. It's very nice to hear. Yeah, ever since she passed, I consider myself retired, though I was in LA and recorded 2 songs last week for friends. So I will, if I get asked to do something nice, I will do it. But yeah, I don't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I will definitely be there and see you in San Francisco.
Soraya,
Yeah,
road trip.
I have your emails now, so I will. I'll
Yeah.
let you guys.
And Charlie, Jeff and I are not adverse to a road trip.
No,
True.
we are
Once
not.
we know a date, we'll show up.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. A weekend in San Francisco. It's fun.
Why not?
Great. Yeah. It's not too far.
So I have to ask, and I'm watching the time, so we may have to reconnect, but I'm going to leave with this question. Played Zebulon in January of this year. Does that mean there are any new tracks or lost tracks or things that have been held onto in that beautiful storage space of yours, garage home? Or,
No, nothing.
could there be new music? And what?
Not really. No, nothing. We talk about it every once in a while. It's hard to say whether one should resurrect
Okay.
the recording process and all. Do you leave it in its time and place, or do you carry on 30 years later? It's a I don't know. It's a quandary.
That's
'Cause we
a
certainly
fair.
could.
That's a fair thing to say because one of the things as we've been chatting, I keep thinking of this of the things I've read about the band, and it seems like there are lots of thoughts about the band, like the band's sound, but it depends on who the writer is, and the sound keeps changing.
Hmm.
It's like this, it's like that, it's like this, it's like that. And I think that mystery is also something it's left for the listener to kind of define. And so you're saying, well, should we just leave it as is, or should we kind of come back and maybe explore that a little more? It's
Yeah,
just an interesting thought.
I see the Pixies are making albums again. I mean,
Yeah.
who else? Gang of Four made records quite a bit later.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really given it a lot of thought,
Okay.
but it sounds interesting. But maybe. But I mean, I have another. I put out a solo record in 2018, I want to say, and I'm working on another album right now of my stuff. But I'm always writing. I have tons of. We could certainly put something together.
Yeah.
Whether we do it, I don't know.
I was going to ask if you did stuff after Downy Mildew, or if anybody, if Jenny, Nancy. I know Nancy left before the last record, but
Yeah, Jenny was involved with a few projects here and there, and
okay,
I didn't do anything until recently, 2018 or so.
okay,
But I have my studio going, and
yeah,
I have fun recording, and we'll put something else out soon here.
yeah. You start here. You go, Charlie. You start with re-releasing a box set of the old stuff, all the old stuff together. That gets a reaction. Then you come back with the new thing.
You sound like a manager.
I know. I'm just like, and now I manage you. Yes.
See, you got the look too.
Yeah.
So these two know, Charlie, that the compilation came out like last year or within the last year or two, this Strum and Thumb
Oh yeah.
record,
Yes.
which I love this record so much, and many of the bands that are on this, but you guys had a track on here.
Yes.
So can you talk about like getting that call and how that went? So
Yeah. They just reached out to us and asked if we put a song on there, and I said sure.
Purple
It was-
Parlor.
Yes, and which is a very old. I mean, I think that's the song they wanted to put on there. So,
Oh.
I mean, for me, that's kind of way in the past, and
Right.
Yeah.
it's-
First
but
EP.
that-
Yeah.
it's not about that. So, I just let them do what they were going to do.
I love this compilation record, and there, like I said, there's a lot of these bands that I really like. 28th Day, Pop Art, there's 1+2. There's so many bands that I really liked, and then also there's bands that I've never heard of, and I get an introduction to because they're partnered up with these bands that I love. But I did notice, Charlie, like in the booklet, there's quotes from a lot of the band members, but I didn't see anything whatsoever from Downy Mildew, unless I overlooked it. Were you never was did I overlook it, or was the band never
I,
asked?
I'm not sure. I think we submitted something.
Okay, okay.
There was I don't recall. So I don't know what's in there.
Yeah, I could have overlooked it. There's a lot of it too, but it could be one of those things like when they're compiling, like they do with documentaries, Ronnie, right? Where they interview so many people and not everything makes the final cuts, right?
It happens. Yeah.
It happens. But Strum and Thrum, if anybody likes
It
this
is great.
band, I love this. I love this
Yeah.
compilation. And congratulations on being on it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's I like the cover of that. It's
Yeah,
good.
it's
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a good title. I know we're wrapping up, Charlie. Charlie, I always assume you were from the city of Downey. Is that not true?
No, I'm not, but Jenny was.
Oh, Jenny was. Okay.
Yes. And it's the band, the whole band name was a joke. And Downy mildew is a plant disease. She was
Right.
from Downey. Metallica's from Downey, and so or some of those guys are
Yeah.
from Downey. And the Blasters are from
Blasters. Yeah.
Downey. The Carpenters
Oh, Carpenters.
Ooh.
Yes.
are from Downey.
Middle Earth Records was a great record store there.
Yes. Yeah. Tim Carter worked there. Jenny worked at Middle Earth for a while.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
That was a really good record store. They had back in the day stuff you couldn't find everywhere.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, and that's kind of what what we came out of was the beginning of indie rock, really. They called it college rock or
college rock.
alternative
That's a call it
rock.
then. Yeah.
Rock just sort of keeps morphing into all these other names, but it was really, independent record labels and a lot of the bands, you kind of knew each other and you all played in the same clubs. And it was a pretty small scene, really, compared to what it is now.
Yeah. Well, you should be proud, Charlie. Proud of the band, proud of the body
Yes.
of work. We're still
Yes.
talking about it 40 years later.
Appreciate it.
Jesus, right? 40 years, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And one more thing, Charlie, for our listeners who'd like to go find your solo work, what's the
Mhm.
best place
Yeah.
for them to go?
Well, it's on all those streaming platforms. It's under my name, Charlie Baldonado, and it's called An Accidental Universe.
Nice.
And the new album also being worked on now, maybe look for it next year.
Yeah, I think I'll be done next year.
Okay.
Get
And
distracted.
and Bandcamp is a good place to find you.
No, I've thought about Bandcamp though. No, it's on Apple Music, Spotify,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and YouTube. I think all the songs
Okay.
as well.
But no 180-gram vinyl.
No, I haven't. The vinyl thing, it eludes me a little.
Yeah.
I have a turntable. There's not as much bottom end on. That was kind of the
Yeah.
one of the beauties of the CD world, where you could all of a sudden put all this bottom end on everything, and you didn't lose the last few songs on an LP, or that's the grooves get a little crammed in there. You kind of put your lightest stuff on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed lately engineers and producers, they all love CDs. Like they listen to any interviews. They're all like, CDs, it's going to sound the best. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, and especially now with the converters and
Yes.
the mastering that they're able to do it's a lot more dialed in and
Yeah.
not quite as harsh. I mean, there's always people that are going to say they like vinyl better, but
Be careful pressing records, Charlie. You'll end up with a whole garage full.
right. Well, it's all petrochemical products too, right?
Oh, true. Yeah. Yeah.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
Hear that, Jeff? Your room is like
I know.
Just the oil value might be worth something someday.
Yeah. If not the music, right? Well, Charlie, we want to appreciate and thank you for coming on, and we really enjoyed talking to you. I love this batch of music that you created with your partners. If any of our listeners haven't heard Broom Tree and you want to buy it, if you don't like it, I'll pay for it. It's that good. It's such a great album. I love them all. They're all great.
Yeah.
That album definitely is in a little place of its own.
It's special. Yeah, it's really special to me. Honestly, I've got a few records. It's honestly in my top 100, probably in my top 50. That album is just there's not a bad sound on that from beginning to end. It's perfect. It's a perfect.
And have you been in the LA area the whole time?
San Diego, since 76.
Okay.
So yeah, but never got to see you guys, unfortunately. So I'm willing to jump on a plane with Soraya and my wife and go sleep at Ronnie's house and drag him and Julie to come see.
Pick me up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 2 hours away from Sacramento.
It's 2 hours. Yeah. So each way.
Yeah, my brother was
We'll do it.
But we are in.
We are in.
great. I'll let you know.
Please.
Please.
Oh, man. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us. And for our listeners, you can find the band's work on streaming platforms. Jeff, I think Jeff's cornered the market on vinyl, but there's CD that were re-released through Windham Hill. Also, Charlie Baldonado's work, also available on streaming platforms. One solo album out ready for your listening pleasure, and another one coming soon. San Francisco, another possible show next year. So there's more to come from Charlie Baldonado, from Downy Mildew, and we're here for all of it. So thank you so very much.
Thanks, and thanks for doing what you're doing. I enjoyed the Earl Mankey interview. I hadn't seen Earl for ages. He was. I remember when I first started engineering my own stuff, I'd send him what I was doing. He said, "Oh yeah, okay, work on this."
Earl was very. Go ahead.
But then I finished it and I had, Chad mixed it and I sent him what we did and he said, whoa, okay.
Uh,
Wow. Wow.
That's Chad's magic
Yeah.
too.
Before he came on, Earl was all, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm nervous. And then you just get him started and he just went for,
Yeah, he was,
an hour and a
yeah,
half. Yeah.
he has some good. I remember his brother, Jim
Yeah.
said to us a long time ago, I'll never forget it. You guys play too hard. Like you're hitting your instruments too hard. And I've never forgotten that. And it's so true. Every
Oh,
instrument has its threshold, and if you hit it too hard, you're losing all your tone.
yeah. No,
yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
The
You see
three of
people
you
that
are the
are, yeah.
musicians here. I don't know what
Sorry,
that.
that might be a little too
No, no,
Yes.
no.
Sorry, Soraya. Yeah.
I fake it. I fake it. I'm not a musician, but I never thought about that. That's an
it's a
interesting.
touch. It's touch.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's touch. That's why, yeah, I could pick up Charlie's guitar and I'm not going to sound anything like Charlie. And that's not just because I don't play guitar.
Now I gotta listen to those Concrete Blonde records. Right.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
good. Yeah. That was a great band.
Yeah, Earl recorded all those, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think so. And
record.
Michael Stipe named them just to make it full circle.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, all kind of going on at that time.
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Charlie. We're
Thank you
gonna
again. Keep
yeah,
us in the loop.
please.
I will, and thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Charlie. Nice
Thanks.
You
meeting
guys
you,
take
and
care.
we'll
Nice
talk
seeing
soon.
you. I hope I see you in
Thank-
the real world someday.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Absolutely. Yes. All right.
All right. So let me share this quote because I don't think we recorded it when I shared it with you, Jeff. Downy Mildew is one of those bands whose name approximates its sound, a sound that remains forever tied to a particular place and time. Post Paisley Underground Los Angeles in the REM jangled 80s. To that basic psychedelic folk construction, the group adds large helpings of 4ADism, arriving at a drenched, delicate, and beauteously murky brand of California goth pop. Woo!
That's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, but I think it's a lot of words to say this is a good band. And
Yeah.
I wasn't lying when I said I've read so many different things that kept trying to kind of find the category of their sound.
Yeah.
And just listening to Charlie talk about it, they had so many various influences and they really just kind of rode that wave until, as he said, we just kind of hit this natural spot where we were done.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
totally okay with that. I mean, that seems like a natural lifespan of a band, and I'd rather a band exit when they need to exit rather than put out a bunch of records. I think our friend Pat Thomas recently made a post about different kind of people, music listeners, and one of them was that guy that is still raving about a band way past their due date, and he's got that one record that nobody else listens to because the band put it out after they should have stopped. And maybe
That
maybe Downy Mildew called it at the right time.
This is off subject, but Pat putting in side 2 of Pieces of Eight, the guy by Styx. That's a great side. It's got Renegade and Blue Collar Man on it, which automatically makes it a great side. That's all. Getting back to Downy Mildew, yeah, so that big flowery long quote you just read,
Yep.
it's spot on, and all those
Right.
and everything it mentions there is in that music, like the 4AD, like Cocteau Twins was brought up. That's that shimmery, echoey guitar, and
Mhm.
the folk, the everything, and then
A little bit of goth. I mean, they're not a goth.
just a tinge of goth. Yeah, they would not
They're
a
not a
goth
goth
band,
band,
but
by
it's
any-
there's dark.
even though
Yeah.
Charlie did say he wore eyeliner,
Oh, he did.
so there is that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not.
But it's dark. I mean, they do have some sunny songs for sure,
Right.
but they do have some dark, moody
Yeah.
songs as well. Yeah. So
And I think that's the thing about the time that this band was being listened to, right?
yeah.
They were in this transition period between things we were hearing and things that were to come. And when he said, we really kind of began this wave of indie rock, this of just
Yeah.
kind of working in a different way, doing things a different way, sounding a different way. Like I love the anecdote about Earl going, "Oh, you want all this reverb? Okay,
Yeah.
you know,
Are you
let's
sure?
just add it on." And the effects that he kept mentioning, yeah, this band, the sounds were layered and things, and I think that's what made them really unique. And I shared with Jeff in the intro. Um, my older brother worked for KXLU for a short period of time, and when I mentioned that we were going to be talking to Charlie, he just said, "Oh my God, Downy Mildew,
Yeah.
KXLU loved them." And
Yeah.
they were played a lot. And he said, "Yeah, Texas Hotel Records." And, we started this discussion. And it just shows you how the music, how many years later are we talking? What, the last release was in 94?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, we're talking about what, 30 years later? And
For
we're
almost
still
40.
talking.
Yeah. Almost 40.
Yeah. So, there's something to it.
Yeah, and just for whatever reason, bands, we talk about this, decisions are made. Some bands are more uh ambitious than
Right.
others. I don't know. Like I can't, and this isn't a put down at all. I can't see Downy Mildew flyering. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Mincing Steps, if it had come out on the IRS, and they'd done a big tour with REM. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I
Right.
mean, Mincing Steps should have been on a major label, if you ask me.
Should have.
Agreed.
Should have.
Yep.
Yeah. But things happen how they happen. And yeah, and they just I like we've kind of run our course, and to recognize that is special. Like
It's
a lot,
huge.
a lot of bands go well past their running their course.
And something he said really struck a chord in me. He said, "We really started this band,
As friends.
as
Yeah.
friends." And like there was a different vibe, because you hear some bands go, I'm bringing Kiss into it because you've heard Gene Simmons said, we knew we were going to be the biggest rock band in the world. Like the mindset was that.
Yeah.
And to hear Charlie say, "We knew what we liked and we were friends and we wanted to play." And look at that, then comes this moment where Nancy's celebrating her 60th birthday. She goes, "You know what I want to do?
Yeah.
I want to play a show." And they say, "Okay, let's play a
Yeah.
show." Zebulon here in Los Angeles, January of this
Well,
year,
yeah.
they played. I love the name of the band they played with. The opener was Fat Evil Children. But but it shows you, they're not adverse to playing. And he said it as much. He goes, "Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe San Francisco, we're working on it." I liked the vibe that he talked about this band, the spirit of this band. And I think when you listen to these tracks, and Jeff, you said it pretty eloquently, this is stuff that really still makes an impact, and I want to listen to it.
It's timeless listening to it. It's not,
Mhm.
it doesn't sound dated at all. Like
Agreed.
there's no,
Yeah.
maybe the Andy Gill produced thing. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, but what a baller move for Gang of Four to
Oh,
go.
amazing.
Andy Gill of Gang of Four go, "You know what? I want to produce some for you guys."
Well, Andy was trying to be a producer at that point. He's like Charlie was kind of saying, I think he was kind of going for it there. Forgot what else he produced besides the Chili Peppers, but
Yeah.
So
Triple X.
yeah, and then Charlie grabbed the reins back.
Yeah.
Had his own studio in '91. Amazing.
Yeah.
Cutting tape, you guys. Getting that razor blade, cutting the tape.
Yeah. I mean, for a band at that level to have your own studio with tape,
Yeah.
that's pretty epic. Ace
Yeah.
Frehley. Did I say Ace Frehley in this
You
episode?
did say it.
I didn't expect to talk about Kiss on today's podcast, and this is fantastic. Keeps getting brought up. Yeah. So
and then what did he? I'm always impressed with stories about Earl Mankey and the Psychedelic Shack.
Yeah.
And when he said, "Yeah, I think we were set up in the kitchen," and I remember Michael Corcio telling us, "Yeah, I was in what was it, like a bathroom?"
Yeah.
Well,
or-
that's
And
Yeah.
I just love that every piece of Earl's home or the studio that he had set up
Oh.
is is a part of this studio.
That's the studio.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure somebody sang outside at some point. I mean, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
that's how it works. That's the fun part of the studio where you try things, you know.
And that's why Earl Mankey will still always be, he's this mystery. And I love how he goes, I don't think anyone's going to be interested in anything I have to say. Heck yeah.
Yeah,
How do you do these things that you do?
yeah, yeah. That Earl Mankey episode has become our calling card, you guys.
I'm telling you. Hey, man, and anyone who had at that time Dennis Wilson's motorcycle sitting around,
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty.
yeah.
Earl was a guy.
Yeah.
Earl stole Dennis Wilson's motorcycle. Unbelievable. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Earl. I'm sure it's.
Oh my gosh.
We heard
Yeah.
it. We heard it right here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Raspberry and Rhyme.
See, and then how many name drops did we have of Paisley Underground? Baboom Dream Syndicate.
Yeah. Earl Mankey.
Baboom Earl Mankey.
Yep. See,
Yo.
everything
I don't
comes
know.
back to it, no matter who it is.
6 Degrees of Paisley Underground.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I think that's a book in and of
Wait,
itself.
wait till we get Ace Frehley on this thing.
Sweet mother.
I
Does
used to
that mean that
love.
we're also going to have Gene on it?
Yeah. You know, I really love the Rain Parade.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
Ronnie, thank you so much for making this
my gosh,
happen.
Ronnie.
Yeah.
No.
if it
Thank you
wasn't for
so much for helping make this happen.
No, absolutely, you guys. Thanks for doing all the hard work. I just show up. You guys do all the hard work. So
you bring
Yeah.
in the talent.
especially Jeff, the production work. Jeff with the production work. So thank you.
Yeah. I've got nothing to edit if nobody comes on the show. So
There
thank
you go.
True.
And
Sure.
Charlie said you even look like a manager. So there you go.
Heck yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I did kind of sound like one there. But it's true. I'd like to see that happen. Box set, everything.
Ooh, child.
Let's get everything in all the form. And Jeff, I need those CDs. Those first two.
That's
Those are-
Wyndham
I
Hill.
was looking at Discogs. Those aren't listed on Discogs, I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think they are.
Huh.
Um,
We'll have to check again.
yeah,
We
I'll
need
check
to-
again.
Hey, man, one of us here has got connections, and it ain't me, and it ain't Jeff.
True.
You know folk.
True. Well, you know, I do all right. Yeah,
Ooh,
but
Jeff, shall we close it up?
I think we better, Soraya.
Mi gente a grubiar.
Groove on, Paisley people.
how.
Y'all made fun of me. You
That was
thought it
fun.
wasn't going to end on a dramatic pause, but it did.
That was hilarious.
That was so funny. And it ended Ronnie mid sentence. Hey,
Done.
Bubba, music. And watch, it's going to cut out now on this very dramatic
Oh,
pause that I've made. But yeah, the recording's going to cut, so we'll all
Well,
have to go back
you'll have to tune in next week to find out.
tune in to the next bad chapter, friends.
This is the series format
Yeah.
where it's
I like it. Why
easier
not?
to keep you come back.
see, finally, Jeff and Soraya, something.
I'll kick you out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank
Get rid of
you.
me, please, would you?
All right.
All right. Well, thanks.
Many have tried.
In all honesty, thanks. And thank you for this music. It's wonderful.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
I'm glad you guys still listen to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We got taste.
Take care.
All right,
See you.
Charlie. See you soon.
Bye.
Give him the boot, Jeff. Okay.